If you have watched my video on the Wheel of Life, you have seen that I have been talking about how to balance different areas of your life. And people would choose the areas to emphasize differently according to their priorities. But I believe an important one is the physical environment. So today I want to talk about that. If you look into the Mongolian recent history, we have emerged from the socialist era, and during socialist times people were not allowed to have private property. So you can imagine our mentality and attitude towards anything privately owned. It was condemned, and people who would have private property or with entrepreneurial mind and attitude would be criticized and ostracized. So we had this unfortunate legacy, and only after 1990s we have started developing private ownership, and it is still going on. I partially influenced by that history, partially because I'm a Christian and I admire very simple lifestyle, Puritan ways or Spartan way of life. Previously I felt I shouldn't pursue money, I shouldn't invest in my surroundings. It might be too selfish for me to do that. However, because of the brain damage that my youngest daughter suffered, God had squeezed me into the position where I had to re-examine my ways. I had to rethink a lot of things, and I found out that many notions I have thought biblical are not really biblical at all. And so I was kind of holding what Colossians 2:23 said would appear as wisdom because it's making your body suffer, but it has nothing or no power at all to fight the sinful desires. So it can easily lead us into hypocrisy or legalism, and it is equally dangerous, just as greed, just as the love of money. And also I have realized God wants me to enjoy the life. As he said in 1 Timothy 6:17, do not trust uncertain riches, but trust in God who has provided you abundantly everything for our enjoyment. When I realized his love and his desire for me to enjoy this life he has given to me, it was so easy to overcome the heartbreak I suffered because of the accident of my daughter. And yeah, God opened a new chapter in my life, and I started investing in the physical environment. Well, initially just because I was pushed by the bare necessities of my daughter. We had to have a bigger space to train her, to exercise her. So this is a corner where she exercises, and I have installed French windows that would 2 meters long, 3 meters long, in total 5 meter long French windows to allow the sunshine fill this room, and it allows us to exercise her naked, massage her, and all kind of good stuff. So, and also when we bought a hyperbaric chamber for her treatment, my previous house had no space at all. The door and the windows would not allow this huge chamber to come inside. So we had to build this extension with my husband, and it also provides a much bigger bedroom so that she doesn't suffer in the night due to the lack of oxygen. I decided to add splashes of green and quilt around this space, and we used wooden materials with my husband. This is the hyperbaric chamber, the cause of all this fuss. And we also make sure that we properly monitor her whenever she is sleeping. We don't want to make noises, so we usually stay away from the room, but we use the surveillance camera to watch over her. This is the window we have used to open and put the hyperbaric chamber inside. It still needs to be framed properly. This is my daughter in her exercising area. So I try to have tummy time as long as possible. And also I try to make sure she enjoys the sunshine. And I have used the wardrobes to separate the room into zones. I have my small office area beyond this. And this room is totally designed around the needs of my daughter. And here I keep a book where I write down the daily schedule and exercises she needs. Every 3 months we visit Korea for her visits and appointments with the neurologist and also the physical therapists. This is it. So, in my previous videos I have shared a forward planning tool called Calendex, which was developed by the gentleman Eddie Hope. However, some of my viewers asked me whether I could explain again how to do the forward planning, and they found it challenging to understand and use that method, but they would like to use it. So I came up with an alternative, another tool for the forward planning, which is widely used in the bullet journaling world, and I believe it has even better features because it allows you to write down the projects and tasks you would like to do in the months to come. As January and February have already passed, we need to start from March. So I write the months and also the calendar for the month, and then next to it I write the concrete tasks or projects I undertake for the month. For example, I'm very keen to start landscaping and gardening the area around my house. So I'll write here that in March I will gather information, look into what I can do for the small garden, and I'll write down that I'll do all the planning in March, and then I proceed to the next month to plan further. The further planner like this allows me to write only the main tasks or projects. The details need to be elaborated in the daily planning. So next step would probably mean to prepare my ground for the planting, and it will probably start late April or even May, because the weather and winter is very long and we never know when it's going to be warmer. So probably in May I will start planting. So I'll write here, start planting. And in June, I need to make sure there's enough protection against bunnies, so the bunnies come and eat anything growing inside the fence. So I'll secure and proof the fence around my place against them. So in the same way, if you want to undertake some project or ongoing work, you can use this as forward planning. For example, if you want to learn a new language, for Mongolians, it is important to have good IELTS or TOEFL scores. So we could use such exams as a milestone to motivate us or to push us towards better performance. So, for example, let's assume in May you have the exam, and then you start planning in March what you're going to do in preparation of that exam. You could write down, study the language 2 hours every day or something like that, or maybe to get some good language courses. Another good way of instilling a habit, especially for learning new things, would be your morning and evening routine. So in my morning routine so far, I put prayer and Bible study and exercises, because these are my priorities for the moment. Especially in my prayer life, I want to make sure that I pray for the government, for the people in the parliament, and also in the provincial low-level government, working for the benefit of the people and the country. So I believe God holds me responsible for that, and He really wishes me to intercede for them. So if the country is suffering at the moment due to the poor decisions of our government officials, I believe God would hold me responsible for not praying for them. So I want to make sure that I pray. So it's just a part. One area I need to strengthen my prayer life, and I want to do the Bible study. So you could write down language study or something. So in the evening, I want to evaluate my day and plan for the next day. So these are the routines I have written so far. So I would recommend using this kind of routines to make sure you have a good habit. So this is the forward planning method I wanted to share with you, and I would like to wish all the best with your planning.